All right, Kyle, so, and especially considering one of the first things you mentioned today that you've been enjoying since I showed you this stuff last year was that you're like, this kind of, I don't have to swing so hard. So this wrist thing is going along that same line of reasoning and that line of feels like, yeah, I like feeling a little easier. Does that make sense? But I wouldn't want you to work on this wrist thing to the point where you lose your good downswing plane. That would really foul you up. You see what I mean? So I'm saying the wrist hinge thing is more of a sprained knee and ingrown toenail, whereas the downswing plane is a cancer. You have to make sure that one stays good. Okay? So this was that last swing with the wedge, trying to get that backward L more in your follow through. You look at one of those first wedges today. I think that was one of the first wedges there. Yeah. Right there. See the difference there in that follow through. Starting to get a little more of it there compared to where you started today. Over there on the right. See your head's up a little better. You're a little more comfortable here when you're feeling the wrists working more. We're starting today. That head was down a little more. Still, it was good. I'm just saying this can make it all the better. And then that wrist hinge. Here's with the practice swing. No, it's a real swing. Yeah, with a small swing. There's the real good wrist hinge there, like we're seeing with not all, but most tour players. You're going to see that kind of a rehinge right there. So I like that a lot. And again, you felt it, exactly what we're talking about, where you can not have to swing so hard if you let the club head whip through there on its own a little more with the wrists, instead of kind of being straight out with it there. Now the good news is, here's the very first swing today. Oh, here it is. The very first swing we recorded today. Yeah, and drew the lines on it. Relative to that plane line, see, that was that iron. That was the longer iron. That you're a little more above it, a little more left. But then when I asked you to put that wedge back in your hand, oop, that's the hybrid right here. Here's the wedge. Sure enough, you got on that plane line a little better, a little closer, and a little more through the top of your left shoulder with the wedge. Because I totally agree with you. You know, you kind of said, it seems like I'm swinging harder with the long clubs, and I said, yeah, I agree. And here's the hybrid. So you can see how that was definitely across the plane line there, right? And you saw the ball start left. But then here, there you go, baby. There's the practice swing you're after. Right there. Right there. And then you hit several good shots with it. Again, they were sprayed a little bit to the right and to the left. Like that one started out to the right real well because you're on the plane line real well. And then just reminds you about turn your hands over, and sure enough, that one goes straighter. Right? Just a little bit more above the plane line on that one. You kind of forgot the plane line on that one. And I just want to see some of these drivers, get them on the video for you. But that's pretty sweet there, man. Down the plane line, really killing that driver. That was the one that twisted on you because you got it out on the toe. It stayed out to the right quite a bit on you. And from face on again, it looked good, but I'm saying to make it all the easier to feel a little more effortless in your swing, you want to try and get that backward L right there. Like that. And here's a little bigger swing with that wedge. You still see the good turning over of your hands there, and then here's the last one you just hit. Alright, but all in all, bud, I'm super encouraged there about that good downswing plane and your good feel for the sweet spot, and that it's causing you to not have to swing so hard. Alright, so keep right on those lines. Again, I'm pretty sure I told you this last fall. I like you to learn what you're doing right just as much what you're doing wrong. Almost, if not more. You want to learn always what you're doing right. Always be learning what you're doing right. And yeah, you learn a little bit about what you're doing wrong and admit it and stuff like that. But always consider, is it a cancer? Is it maybe secondary importance, a sprained knee, or is it not that big a deal, it's just an ingrown toenail? Okay. Any question about that? Or anything? Okay. All right, we'll stop there for today, man.